If Arnold made up the Eiffel Tower studios, David wants to find out if his great-grandparents really were French. He's come to the Archives Nationales, Paris's vast repository of official records. Senior curator Claire Béchou has uncovered Arnold and Amelie's wedding certificate.
Voilà, donc nous avons trouvé quelques documents. Voici leur acte de mariage. They married.
This is when they married. So they were married at Paris?
Yes.
They were married here?
Yes, in Paris.
Jarchy and
Salomon.
Salomon. The maiden name?
Yes.
Of Amélie?
Of Amélie.
Amélie
Salomon.
Salomon.
Arnold
Jarchy was born
in Dunaburg and
Dunaburg, Russia. So he wasn't French. Oh, how interesting! C'est très intéressant pour moi.
Voilà.
Did Amélie come from Russia also?
On va le savoir. Yes. Amélie Salomon, née Grodno.
Grodno.
No.
She was born in Grodno, Russia. So they were both Russian. Goodness. And do you know where they may have lived in France? In Paris?
Rue des Tournelles.
Rue des Tournelles. What number? Quel numéro?
Numéro 21 bis.
21 bis.
21 bis.
So David's great-grandparents, Arnold and Amélie Jarchy, were not French, but Russian, and they probably lived in Paris for less than a decade.
Rue des Tournelles. There we are, 21 bis. There. Here we are, 21 bis. Oh, that there is called a mezuzah. And I think the 10 Commandments or the laws are supposed to be in there. Oh my goodness, look. Right next door, a synagogue.
Since the French Revolution a century earlier, France was one of the few countries in Europe not to discriminate against Jews. And by the 1880s, Paris had an established Jewish community. Like thousands of other immigrants, Arnold and Amélie Jarchy fled anti-Semitism in Russia and settled in Paris before raising their family in London.
They would have been young people, and I don't know what the state of things were like in Russia at that time, but they had to get out. I would think they had to leave, and came to Paris to start a new life. Very brave, very courageous. That refugee background, that heritage, gives one a certain need to achieve. You're going to keep going. You're not going to give up. Within me, certainly I feel something drives me. Something really does drive me on and on and on. And even coming up to my 40th year as an actor, I don't feel I've begun. And I'm sure that comes from this sort of background.
Like the Jarchys, the Suchets on David's father's side were also of Jewish East European descent. They too changed their name, but no one in the family knows why.
Once again, I think the name Suchet was not our original name. I believe it came from a Russian name called Suchetovitz. But Dad, whether it was because he was a very reticent man, he never spoke about things. So I'm on my way now to visit my elder brother John and ask him if he knows something. Because we never actually sat down together ever and talked about this.
Hey, brother. Hello. Hello. Good to see you.
And you.
David's elder brother John Suchet has also spent his life in the public eye as chief newsreader at ITV for more than 30 years.
I'm wanting to know more about Dad's. I know nothing about. Do you know anything more?
Well, I do, funnily enough, because when Mum and Dad lived here, I sat in the kitchen having tea with them, and I can't remember why the subject turned to the family and history and what have you.
Because they didn't talk about it that much.
No, but Dad just opened up. Dad said to me that we know that he was born in South Africa, but it was Dad's dad who changed the name to Suchet. I don't know why
he changed it.
He changed it to Suchet in South Africa. Now, I don't know why he chose a French-sounding name. In fact, we've got a picture here. There is Dad's dad, Isidore.
Isidore. Poirot, without the moustache.
Is that not Hercule?
I know.
His family came from Lithuania.
Where?
Memel.
All right.
Memel. I know, because I'm a bit into the history of the area anyway, Memel is now called Klaipeda, or something like that. Let me have a look here. There we are, Klaipeda, Lithuania, 52 B6. Here's Lithuania, and there is Klaipeda, with Memel in brackets underneath.
So, they were Russian?
No, because Lithuania in those days was part of Prussia.
They were Prussian?
Yeah, because that was part of East Prussia, all within this area.
That area.
But I don't know what records were kept in those days, particularly of Jews who wanted to get out anyway.
And we know nothing. We know his name was Isidore Suchet. We don't know who his father was. We don't know whether who his brother was. We know nothing.
No.
And was he born in Memel?
No idea. No idea.
David's father, Jack Suchet, was born in South Africa, and according to John, their grandfather Isidore originally came from Memel, then in Prussia, part of the German Empire. Could any of Isidore's descendants in South Africa know more about his East European origins? Mavis Schneider is David's first cousin. She grew up with their grandfather Isidore in South Africa, so she's come to meet David to tell him all she knows.
Hello.
Hello, Dave.
Hello. How lovely to see you. Oh, good to see you. Big welcome.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
No. That's a nice case. Oh, that's Isidore's case?
Yes.
That little case?
Yes.
Let me see what's inside.
This is a passport of Grandpa Isidore.
That's Isidore's passport?
Yes.
Mr. Isidore Suchedovitz, also known as Suchet.
I think he shortened it in Cape Town because it was such a complicated name.
Or because it was too Jewish?
Maybe. I knew Isidore because I always went to Cape Town with my mother. He was a quiet man, very dapper, and he was obsessive with regard to hygiene.
He does sound like Poirot, more and more, doesn't he, actually? He's obsessive.
Yes, he was, very similar. But he had a German accent. He spoke German.
He spoke German?
Yes.
How interesting.
He came to South Africa with his brothers in 1896.
1896, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about the brothers.
There was Benjamin.
Benjamin?
Yes.
Right.
And there was Joseph.
Joseph and
Benjamin. And Isidore was in the middle.
So Isidore was the middle son?
Yes. There's one other thing that I've got which really may help. This letter was written by Gertie, who's the daughter of Uncle Benjamin.
Right. OK, transcript of letter from Gertie Rubin, née Suchedovitz. My father's parents, Jacob and Bela Suchedovitz, were born in a small town of Russia, now Lithuania, near the well-known larger city of Memel, where I think the whole family settled. So, these are my great-grandparents?
Yes.
Isidore's
parents.
Jacob was a Talmudical student at 17 years of age when he married Bela, aged 14 or 15.
Yes.
They married so young. Because I knew nothing of this background at all.
No.